You think you know rhinos? Think again. These ancient, armored giants are some of the most misunderstood creatures on Earth. From their bizarre biology to their myth-like histories, rhinos are full of surprises. In today's deep dive, we'll uncover 10 unbelievable facts about rhinos that will change the way you see them forever. Let's start with a fact that challenges the very name we give them. Rhinos aren't really loners, they're a diverse, global family. The name rhinoceros comes from the Greek words rhino, meaning nose, and keras, meaning horn. But despite the singular tone of their name, rhinos are anything but one-note creatures. Today, 5 species of rhinoceros still roam the earth, though many are critically endangered. These are the white rhino and black rhino of Africa, and the Indian, Javan, and Sumatran rhinos of Asia. Each one is adapted to a different climate and environment, from grassy African savannas to dense tropical rainforests. The white rhino, which is actually gray, is the largest, weighing up to 2,300 kilograms, over 5,000 pounds, and known for its wide, square lip, perfect for grazing. The black rhino, smaller but feistier, has a pointed lip ideal for browsing shrubs. Meanwhile, in Asia, the Indian rhino, sometimes called the greater one-horned rhino, boasts a single horn and a massive, armor-plated body that looks almost prehistoric. The Javan and Sumatran rhinos are more elusive, living deep in the forests, with the Sumatran rhino being the hairiest of them all, an echo of the now extinct woolly rhinos that roamed Ice Age Europe. So despite the image of the lonely rhino, these animals are a surprisingly diverse global family. And the tragedy? Just a few centuries ago, rhinos were found across vast stretches of Eurasia and Africa. Today, poaching and habitat loss have confined them to small, fragmented pockets of the wild. Their skin isn't just tough, it's a natural suit of armor. If you've ever looked closely at a rhino's skin, you'd notice it appears thick, rough, and cracked, like a mosaic of dried mud. But this isn't just for show. Rhino skin can be up to 5 centimeters, 2 inches, thick, and it acts like built-in body armor. This thick hide is made of layers of collagen arranged in a lattice structure, giving it flexibility as well as durability. It protects rhinos from thorns, sharp grasses, insect bites, and even attacks from predators. And yes, rhinos do get attacked. Lions, for instance, have been known to target calves. But what's even more fascinating is how rhinos take care of that tough skin. They rely heavily on mud baths. Rolling in the mud not only cools them down in hot weather, but also acts like a natural sunscreen and insect repellent. When the mud dries, it flakes off, taking parasites and dead skin with it. They also have a symbiotic relationship with birds like oxpeckers, which perch on the rhino's back and pick off ticks and other pests. The birds even serve as an alarm system, squawking loudly if a predator is nearby. So yes, their skin is strong, but it's not invincible. Rhinos can suffer from sunburn and skin infections if deprived of access to mud and shade. In captivity, special care has to be taken to recreate these conditions. These gentle giants may look like tanks, but their survival depends on the delicate balance of their environment. Rhino horns aren't bone. They're made of the same stuff as your hair. If there's one feature that defines a rhino, it's that iconic horn, or horns, in the case of the African species. But here's the shocking part. Rhino horns aren't made of bone. They're made entirely of keratin, the same protein that forms human fingernails and hair. That's right. What looks like a solid, sharp weapon is actually compressed strands of hair-like fibers, tightly packed and growing from the skin, not from the skull. Unlike antlers, which are shed and regrown, rhino horns grow continuously throughout the animal's life. They can even grow back if cut off without damaging the growth tissue at the base. This biological fact makes the poaching of rhino horns even more tragic, because in theory, they don't need to be killed to harvest the horn. But poachers often kill the animals anyway, using brutal methods, simply to avoid a chase or to ensure the entire horn is removed. And all of this is driven by myth, not science. Rhino horn is believed in some cultures, especially in parts of Asia, to cure everything from fevers to cancer, and even to act as an aphrodisiac. But medical research has shown that rhino horn has no more medicinal value than biting your own fingernails. Still, the demand is so high that a kilo of rhino horn can sell for tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes more valuable than gold or cocaine on the black market. That illegal trade has pushed some rhino populations to the brink of extinction. Even in protected reserves, rhinos must be constantly monitored, often with armed patrols, drones, and GPS tracking systems. In some cases, conservationists have even preemptively removed the horns of living rhinos to deter poachers. It's a powerful, tragic irony. The very feature that defines them may be the reason they disappear. Rhinos communicate in ways we can't always see or smell. At first glance, rhinos don't seem very talkative. They're often silent, slow-moving giants that appear solitary and aloof. But in reality, rhinos have an entire secret language, and much of it is invisible to the human eye, or rather, to the human nose. Rhinos communicate using scent marking, vocalizations, and body language. Their sense of smell is incredibly advanced, and they rely heavily on it to navigate social interactions, mark territories, and even identify other rhinos. They have large, prehensile lips or snouts that help them pick up smells, and they frequently visit dung middens, communal poop spots, where they leave their own droppings and sniff those of others. These dung piles function like message boards. A rhino can learn the sex, age, reproductive status, and even health of another individual just by smelling what was left behind. Males mark their territory with urine and dung, and even spray urine backward up to 3 to 4 meters to mark bushes and trails. Females, especially when ready to mate, emit specific pheromones in their urine to attract males. And then there's the sound. Rhinos make a wide range of noises: grunts, growls, snorts, and even squeals. Calves will whimper and squeak to get attention from their mothers. Adults might snort or trumpet during mating rituals or confrontations. Some species even hum at night, possibly a way to stay in touch in the dark. So while rhinos may look stoic and silent, they are in constant communication through signals that most humans don't even notice. They can run faster than you think, and they charge with intent. When you look at a rhino, it's hard to believe that something so massive could ever be considered fast. But here's the jaw-dropping truth. A full-grown rhino can run up to 50 kilometers per hour. That's over 30 miles per hour. That's faster than the average human sprinter. And when a rhino charges, it's not just a bluff. Rhinos are known for their aggression when threatened. They have relatively poor eyesight, so they often rely on sound and smell. If they sense danger or an unfamiliar presence, their first instinct is often to charge first and ask questions later. Despite their bulk, rhinos are remarkably agile. They can turn quickly, pivoting their entire body with surprising grace. Their legs, short but immensely powerful, are built for quick bursts of speed. In Africa, there have been numerous reports of rhinos chasing vehicles or scaring off lions. Even elephants have been known to back off when an aggressive rhino decides to hold its ground. But this aggressive behavior isn't random. Rhinos are typically peaceful unless provoked or startled. In protected environments where they feel secure, they are calm and even gentle. Still, conservationists and wildlife photographers must be extremely cautious. Approaching a wild rhino without the wind in your favor, or getting too close to a mother with her calf, can quickly turn into a life-threatening mistake. Rhinos are ancient. They've been around for 50 million years. When we say rhinos are ancient creatures, we're not just being poetic. Rhinos have walked the earth for over 50 million years. That's long before elephants, and even before some early species of primates evolved. Fossil records show that the earliest ancestors of rhinos appeared shortly after the extinction of the dinosaurs, during the Eocene epoch. Some of their ancient relatives were surprisingly different from modern rhinos. Some were the size of dogs, while others were taller than giraffes. The largest known land mammal in history, Paraceratherium, was actually a hornless relative of today's rhino. It lived about 30 million years ago and stood over 16 feet tall at the shoulder, weighing an estimated 15 to 20 tons. That's heavier than a T-Rex. Rhinos have survived dramatic shifts in climate, asteroid impacts, and the ice ages. They even coexisted with early humans. Cave paintings in Europe dating back tens of thousands of years depict woolly rhinos, showing just how deep the relationship between humans and these creatures runs. So when you see a rhino today, you're looking at a living relic. A true survivor from a distant and almost unrecognizable past. And that makes the threat of extinction all the more heartbreaking. It's not just an animal we're losing. It's a direct link to Earth's prehistoric legacy. Rhinos are nearsighted, but their hearing and smell are superpowers. Rhinos are famous for their size and horns, but what most people don't know is that their vision is surprisingly weak. In fact, rhinos are severely nearsighted. They can only see clearly for about 10 to 15 meters, 30 to 50 feet, in front of them. Anything beyond that becomes a blur. This explains a lot of their behavior. Sometimes, a rhino might seem to charge for no reason. It's not because they're aggressive, but because they literally can't tell what's coming. It might be a tree or a predator. But what they lack in eyesight, they make up for with an incredible sense of smell and hearing. Their large, rotating ears can detect sounds from far away, and they often swivel independently like living radar dishes. Rhinos can hear approaching footsteps or the distant growl of a predator long before it's visible. Their sense of smell is even more advanced. Rhinos can detect the scent of other animals, fresh dung, and even humans from hundreds of meters away. This is why wind direction matters so much when approaching them. One whiff of an unfamiliar scent, and they're gone, or charging. So while rhinos might not see the world as clearly as we do, they read it with senses we can barely imagine. Rhino horns are not bone, they're hair. Really, rhino horns look solid, deadly, and bone-like. But here's the strange truth. A rhino's horn isn't made of bone at all. It's made of keratin, the same protein found in human hair and fingernails. Unlike the horns of cattle or deer, which are anchored to the skull, a rhino's horn is a compact mass of keratin fibers bound tightly together. It grows directly from the skin, and it can regrow if damaged or cut off, provided the base remains intact. This biological makeup is incredibly significant. For one, it means rhino horns are not medicinally special in any way, despite what some traditional beliefs claim. And yet, illegal poaching still thrives because rhino horn is wrongly believed to cure fevers, enhance virility, and bring status. The irony? Scientists have proven that rhino horn has no more health benefits than chewing your own nails. In recent years, some conservationists have even experimented with humanely removing horns to deter poachers, though this is controversial and only works in highly protected areas. So the horn that has cost so many rhinos their lives is essentially a giant, compacted hairdo. Rhinos play an essential role in their ecosystem. Rhinos aren't just majestic to look at, they're ecosystem engineers. Their grazing patterns and behavior shape entire landscapes. White rhinos, for example, are bulk grazers. They eat massive amounts of grass, keeping savannas from overgrowing. This, in turn, creates open space that benefits other herbivores like zebras, wildebeests, and gazelles. Without rhinos, grasslands could become overrun and unbalanced. Black rhinos, on the other hand, are browsers. They feed on shrubs, leaves, and small branches. Their foraging helps control bush encroachment and promotes biodiversity by allowing light to reach the forest floor. Rhinos also dig waterholes and create mud wallows, which benefit countless other animals, from birds that feed on insects disturbed by the digging, to reptiles and amphibians that thrive in the temporary wetlands. Even their dung plays a role. It fertilizes the soil, spreads seeds, and supports insects like dung beetles. In fact, certain plant species rely specifically on rhinos for seed dispersal. So when we lose rhinos, it's not just a loss of beauty or heritage, it's a collapse of entire ecosystems that have evolved around them for millennia. The fight to save rhinos is a global battle fueled by hope. Today, rhinos face one of the gravest threats in their 50-million-year history: extinction at the hands of humans. Poaching, habitat loss, climate change, and illegal trade have brought some species, like the northern white rhino, to the brink. There are only 2 left in the world, both females. But the story isn't over. In fact, there's more hope than ever before. International efforts, led by governments, scientists, rangers, and local communities, are working tirelessly to protect and revive rhino populations. Some rhinos have been moved to secret, heavily guarded reserves. Conservationists use drones, tracking collars, and AI surveillance to protect them from poachers. In South Africa, certain populations of black rhinos have rebounded, thanks to decades of strict protection. In Nepal, greater one-horned rhinos are making a slow but steady comeback, with anti-poaching units praised as among the best in the world. There are even efforts to use stem cells and advanced reproductive technology to revive the functionally extinct northern white rhino, turning preserved tissue into embryos that could be carried by surrogate mothers. The battle is ongoing, but it's not without victories. Each rhino saved is a symbol of human resilience, compassion, and determination to fix what we've broken. Because in the end, saving rhinos isn't just about saving an animal. It's about preserving a legacy, restoring balance, and proving that we are capable of change. In the grand tapestry of nature, the rhinoceros stands as both a symbol of strength and a poignant reminder of fragility. These magnificent creatures, with their ancient history and vital role in ecosystems, demonstrate how one species can shape and influence an entire environment. But the rhino story is not just about survival, it's a call to action for us all. As the world changes, it is our responsibility to protect these incredible animals and the delicate balance they help maintain. Every effort, every conservation triumph, no matter how small, plays a crucial part in ensuring that rhinos, and countless other species, have a place in the world for generations to come. The battle to save rhinos is not just about preserving one species. It's about safeguarding the future of life on Earth itself. So, as we look toward the future, let us stand together in this fight, united by our shared responsibility to protect the natural world. If you're passionate about wildlife, conservation, and uncovering the stories that shape our planet, don't forget to subscribe to Fancy Fact. Join us as we continue to explore the untold stories of the animal kingdom and beyond. Together, we can make a difference, because the future of our planet is in our hands. Thank you for watching.